That goes 1, 2. Now listen, y'all, I am so pissed the fuck off because just like everybody else, a couple of months ago, I was watching the Nature Boy documentary. Now, I'm not the type of person who stops at the documentary, baby. I'm going to deep dive. So I ended up going to Hood Horrors on YouTube, shout out to him, and I was watching his docuseries on Nature Boy. Now, as I was watching that docuseries, I started recognizing a pattern in behavior, pattern recognition, because that's my thing. If you don't know, check my channel out. But anyways, I started thinking about it and I'm like, okay, what is this connection between individuals who are marginalized people, who have some level of tenacity, who seek out individuals to follow them with the initial intent of creating community amongst individuals, and how they slowly but surely segue into becoming heinous individuals. Okay. And then I started thinking about the correlation between these individuals who are also, again, marginalized, usually abused as children, who start these cults, and the segue from being straight individuals into moving into not only individuals who abuse women and anybody else who's around them, but also individuals who are not straight and who fraternize with men, even rape the men in the groups. And then I just started thinking about it because I thought young Pharaoh was very interesting, even when I was watching the Hood Horrors docuseries. And then recently I see young Pharaoh resurfacing, but not for the reasons that we would think. Now, my whole thing is, I want to preference this by saying, because I know how y'all like to tussle, and I also know how people like to misuse and mistreat what people are saying. And what I want to say is that in no way am I saying that being gay is a segue to mistreating and misusing children. In no way. I think that that is something that is prominent right now. People are utilizing individual scenarios to basically say to the masses that one group of marginalized people do these horrible things, or is a gateway drug essentially into doing these horrible things to children. And I just want to say that that is not what I'm saying. All right, now moving forward. So it's interesting that young Pharaoh was doing all of these things, right, to bring down Nature Boy, calling him out to be gay, saying all these different things about him. And honestly, to me, him being gay was like the least of the horrible things that he did. But when he was outing him as being gay, and if you go and watch the Hood Horrors documentaries, you'll see he berated and mistreated him about being gay. That was his biggest problem. Now, mind you, this man was abusing women, mistreating children, violating people, exposing himself, doing all types of horrible things. And your feat was him being gay. Now, what I find to be very interesting is that now we're seeing young Pharaoh on the internet with extended nails. And
I appreciate y'all. It's the Holy Ghost, Pharaoh. Peace, peace, family. It's your boy, Young Pharaoh, aka Lil Feed, the Holy Ghost, and this is serious, seriously.
And just doing a lot of flamboyant things. Now, being gay is about what your sexual preference is. However, okay, baby, let's use context. He never wore nails before. So he's being very feminine, very flamboyant. It's very interesting to see that happen, right, in real time, because it leads back to my question. What is the connection there? Now, I have actually done a deep dive on this already. I have all the research prepared, and I'm going to make this a whole nother video, but I just wanted to throw this out there that if you watch Hood Horrors, if you are familiar with Nature Boy, if you're familiar with young Pharaoh and a lot of these other black leaders and individuals, a lot of them start out with a good plan, good man, good brother man, and they eventually segue into their one queen. They go from their one queen to multiple queens, and so then they start the poly thing, and then they start making everybody who follows them believe that this is the way to life now. So now I don't have one queen, I have multiple queens, and you got to be okay with that because God sent them to me and this is the way they're supposed to be. And then they go from this insatiable appetite of wanting all of the women that they could have to then abusing these same women because they're not fulfilling their every need and desire. And somehow, because of this insatiable appetite, as well as access, resources, and a level of respect, as well as a level of seclusion, these individuals segue from that to then trying out having sex with men because they can and because their appetites are unable to be pleased. And then slowly they segue to the unthinkable. These people, not gay people, okay? Because gay people are literally gay. They like what they like the same way that heterosexual people like what they like. So that's not what we're talking about. But these people in particular. And I'm not saying this to accuse young Pharaoh of a thing. What I'm saying is it is a slippery slope when these individuals who either create cults or create a community of marginalized individuals with the same strong beliefs that they have. It's a slippery slope. That's all I'm saying. Because the access, the resources, the insatiable appetite. Okay? Now we just gonna watch this and see where it goes, because what else can we do? It's social media. But anyways, if you like what I'm talking about, I'm gonna be dropping more W's in the chat.